right, guys, before I start this video, I just want to mention that I screw up here in just a second. I see episode 1, season 1. This is the Jacksonville. It's episode 1, season 2. I just want to clarify that before you actually hear me screw up. So let's get started. Okay, let's talk about this side first. This one is the Jacksonville 1, season 1, episode 1 chainsaw. Now, what I had to do was take different screen grabs from that specific scene. Now, what I found out is they used probably 3 or 4 different chainsaws for that scene. So I had to go with what was really available and what was primarily seen. So every side that you see is based off of one of the scenes. Like this one right here, this side is based off of when he's grabbing it with his belt, when Ash is grabbing it in the fight scene in Jacksonville. Now, if you look right here, at the weathering. Now the weathering, I matched up as close as possible to that scene. You have a little bit more of a red here. The one thing I did not do is back here on the block is you actually see some red, like there was a chip in the black where the red was showing through. When they got these bodies, they sprayed everything red and then weathered everything out. So I didn't put that in because it looks like crap. This one has a bolt here, not like the regular flathead style. This one had more of a Phillips head. Had a Phillips head look, non-painted. If you notice where the top ends here, it's not all the way back across the wrist clamp. There was one used that went all the way across the wrist clamp, but this side specifically did not. As you can see, it is rounded in the back. And you can see the silver detail on top of this edge along here. When it comes to the bolts are the exact same ones that I used for the season 1, episode 1 chainsaw, except for this one here because those ones were the same. When it comes to the wood handle, you can see that it is split farther back here, but this one has a little bit more of a severe slant in the back. Let's go over here. You can see there's no guard. This one is a lightweight chainsaw bar. This is not a real chainsaw bar. This is a fiberboard, 2 pieces of fiberboard with a metal stiffener put in between them. If you do decide to do something like that, just to let you guys know, you're going to have a little bit of a wider gap to insert your chain to put it in there permanently. So sometimes you can get an optical illusion to where you know your bar is straight, but it looks like it's a little off or bent because the chain grabs on the one side and then grabs on the other side a little bit more. That's something to really watch for when you're doing that. It's kind of unavoidable, just depends on how you hang it. You can be, you know, micrometers, have micrometers of a difference that it really doesn't matter, but something to definitely take into account when you're doing something like that, because you don't want to constantly be making these bars over and over and over and over again. The toggle switch is a 3-point toggle switch on that one because in the scene when he grabs it with the belt, it is pointing straight up. Let's go across here. You can see the lightweight chainsaw bar. If you really look, you can see a lot of the silver detail. It's kind of weird how the light hits it. See how it's nice and shiny right there? This is not a real chainsaw bar. This is actually fiberboard. Bolts in the front, 6mm up here. The Phillips head ones used on that one. Same with the episode 1, season 1. You can see this one has the stock looking screws right there versus the episode 1, season 1. Paint the match on the front. The molded caps, of course. The grill, the shorter grill like I redid for my episode 1, season 1. And the tight pull string here. And there's really not a lot to go over that's a little different. The paint on the front matches that scene where he's with the mother-daughter combo. This side was a little bit harder. I had to go with auction photos and really reference those to get something that's very, very, very close to what I needed to get it accurate as possible. Let me go to over here. Let's see here. Yeah, that's basically it. There's not a lot to talk about. But if you look on the bottom here, let's see if I can show that bar brightness. You can see that shininess between the silver right there to give it kind of a worn look and make it look more real. One thing you notice at the bottom here, this is more of the look when Pablo's throwing the chainsaw in the air to ash when it gets hit in the head with it. Notice towards here where these 2 bolts are, there's not those 2 extra holes like in the episode 1, season 1 that I did. If you don't know what I'm talking about, reference back to those videos. But it turned out really, really, really nice. Kurt really likes it. He can't wait to have it. Oh, bar paint. The design for the bar paint came from the scene. You see it over here like this, got it as close as possible. When Pablo's thrown it in the air. And then on the other side here, the paint over here was from the fight scene as well, especially this and this right here. Match it up as close as possible. So yeah, there it is. I mean, you can see the silver detail right there. Came out really nice. Some people think this is my best work yet. I'm still a fan of the episode 1, season 1. That's still my fave. But this one is, it's right there in second place. Yeah, had to make everything look just correct. Same with how the top looks from here to here, all the way across. When it grabs it with the belt, I had to make that accurate as possible. The way the handle was bent, you name it, had to do it. But there it is. I mean, I wish I had more to talk about, but yeah, there it is. Fake chainsaw bar as well. One thing I will note to you guys, always keep the, if you're making a fake chainsaw bar or using a real one, you want to make sure you see this hole right here. You always want that facing out this way, unless you're doing a first appearance. First appearance, this is on the opposite side. So if it's hanging, you're doing episode 1, season 1 first appearance, it'll be over on this side versus the other side. But there it is, guys. It's the Jacksonville. Let me know what you guys think. It is very, very, very nice. And I would like to do a longer video, but I really have to pack this up and send it off for Kurt tomorrow. Until next time, guys, you stay groovy.